Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's your host, your boy, George Mackay. I'm back here today to discuss our favorite promotion. If you're watching this and you're a regular, welcome back as always. If you're a first timer, welcome. I got my pineapple bubbly and I got my life podcast partner, Uncle Bobby B, who's going to be taking the reins today. Because you know what? Your host can't always do the hosting. Sometimes he wants to do the color commentary. So without further ado, tonight's leader, Uncle Bobby B.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to the Rewind. Unfortunately, you know, George sometimes has a busy day. We have lives of our own, and we weren't able to, or he wasn't able to watch Fusion today. But
well, I caught bits and pieces. I got enough to get me through.
You got enough to get you through. Perfect. So your boy Uncle Bobby B is going to be leading the charge here today. So we open with just. I not even 3 minutes in and I was already pissing myself laughing. You've got Hammer, you've got Holiday, and you've got EJ NDUKA, and they're walking and they're interrupted by a guy whose name I should know, but he's a journalist, and he comes up asking questions, and they're like, "Whoa, slow down, Turbo!" And Holiday's like, "I'm literally like mid bite," and as he says that, like a piece of food falls out of his mouth, and I don't think that was intended. So it just the timing couldn't. I'm literally mid bite, and like a chunk of energy bar falls out of his mouth. All three of these guys has some great lines in this, especially Holiday is on the phone, and he's talking to MJF, and he's just talking about, you know, Sting hasn't been over since he was in the police, and I know you really want to come down for War Chamber, but you can't. That's okay. Just Holiday being Holiday. Cesar Duran approaches.
Oh,
and he says, "Hammer dicks, you're difficult people to find." You know, first of all, it's hammerheads. So basically, Cesar Duran is trying to coax the hammerheads into working with him to annihilate Contra unit.
So you're talking about his backdoor deals from a few weeks ago. He's had enough of them already.
He is trying to join forces with the Hammer Dicks. It could be the biggest battle MLW's ever seen. Contra unit, Hammerheads, MLW, War Chamber. And so he's offering to provide that final member of the team that's needed for War Chamber. He said that they would very much like this man, but he didn't specify who. He just had a key around his neck and said, "This is the key to unlock your dreams," kind of thing. So more on that later in the episode, but that whole sketch was just fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. We get into a tag team match. We've got LA Park. We've got Los Parks against 5150. And this just degenerates into a brawl real fast. Chairs were flying everywhere, bodies and limbs were just flying. There was expletives being uttered, culminated in the removal of a mask.
No,
but luckily he was prone on the ground, and his father and they were able to cover his face so that he wasn't exposed. But 5150 full on took LA Park's mask.
No. That's not nice. You don't do that. You don't do that in luchadors. That's like a cardinal sin in luchador wrestling.
No, it's a big deal. So I expect that feud is going to be running pretty hot and heavy for the next little while.
Yeah. Well, it's going to culminate with a title match. We already know that. It's culminating with a title match.
We know that. And 5150 right now are just on a rampage. Like, you better hope they don't collide with any of the other kind of factions or teams we have kicking around, because it's going to get ugly real fast. 5150 are a force to be reckoned with.
Well, they pretty much wrote off Jordan Oliver off TV. So Injustice is now dead because we know he was released a short time after.
Right.
There really is no more Team Filthy. That ended last week. So really the only faction is 5150 and Contra, yes, but there really isn't a need for them to collide with Contra yet. And they're already colliding with Azteca Underground, if you will. So
now more on, hold that thought, because following this this match. Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention just a barrel roll, like through the ropes, barrel roll by Homicide just came off so beautifully. Like a guy like Homicide, for him to look graceful in the air, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. But we then get into a little bit of a, not a little bit, it is a promo from the leader of Contra Unit. We love him. Joseph Samael. Yeah. And Joseph Samael just cuts a promo on the Philly fans, calling them fat pieces of shit. And he cuts a promo on Richard Holiday, calls him a panty waist. And he cuts a promo on EJ NDUKA, calls him a clumsy reject. And just he's prepping for War Chamber. Samael is pissed. But the plot will thicken. All right. We're just still getting into the plot. It's got to thicken still. So then we have a huge,
like a stew. It's got to get thicker. It's got to simmer.
Right. And then we move into it's a 12-man elimination match.
Nice.
6 men on each side. So we have the team of Zenshi, Richard Holiday, the Blue Meanie, Savio Vega, Warhorse, and EJ NDUKA. And they were taking on the team of Casey Navarro, Kevin Koo. And interestingly, when Kevin Koo came out to the ring, his promo video was still showing Team Filthy graphics. So I wonder if they just haven't had a chance to update that yet.
I'm going to say that. I'm not going to say that Team Filthy's still kicking around unless he's going to take Team Filthy on his own, but that wouldn't make sense because he's not Filthy Tom Lawler.
Right. And then we had Ikuro Kwan representing Contra Unit. Beastman was also in attendance with Kim Chi. I see that face you're making because he was released. But
this, well, obviously we all know, anybody who doesn't know MLW's schedule, they pre-tape a lot of these in the can weeks in advance. So these were probably pre-taped and they have the footage. So they're not going to scrap the footage because they released somebody. And let's be honest, it wasn't a huge loss. Sorry. Just going to throw
anyways. Yeah. Well, you know what? He did. I'll get to it in a second. But the other 2 final members of the team, King Mo and Gino Medina.
Okay, that's actually,
so you can already see
solid teams.
And you can already see some of the, Gino Medina and Richard Holiday on opposite teams. Kind of some rivalries there. So the match itself was actually great. Matches like that with a lot of people involved are sometimes difficult. You can't work a lot of psychology and all that, but they made it work, especially given the time constraints they have. The 2 guys who put in the work for their teams were really EJ NDUKA and Beastman. Beastman went on a tear, took out like 3 people. By the end, it was EJ NDUKA, and I think he had Casey Navarro, Ikuro Kwan, and Gino Medina left. And he actually took all of them out, including Kim Chi. So in essence, as mentioned on commentary, this isn't my own observation, EJ NDUKA eliminated 7 people and only had 6 opponents. So he put in the work, and that match, I think, was...
Kim Chi is known to get involved in matches. If you go through the history of Kim Chi as a manager, he does put himself in situations where he can get his butt whooped, and it's happened.
And he did that in this match, very much so, getting quite involved, and he got his ass kicked for his trouble.
So you would say, I mean, and again, I watched snippets of the match. I watched enough to get by this week. I skimmed through it quickly, but I will go back and watch the whole thing after. And spoiler alert, like Rob said, we all have lives, but I couldn't watch the full episode. It's not because I'm not a faithful. It's just I had other stuff happening today. But would you not say that, in my interpretation of the match, is that they are building up NDUKA to be this force? So when War Chamber does happen, I think NDUKA is going to get a lot of the spots. And I will say this much, you're right. With that amount of talent that was around that ring, literally taking up almost the whole ring, they all, in matches like that, mostly everybody gets one cool spot and then they're eliminated. They're tossed out. But there were layers to this and there was a story told. And it's not easy to do. So that's a credit to the amazing MLW roster.
Yep. Warhorse looked great, really came in high octane. He was looking sharp. Casey Navarro and Zenshi had some great exchanges. Blue Meanie and Beastman was kind of fun. Some spots he did, like sumo spot. And of course, you had Gino Medina and Richard Holiday fighting on the outside because there's still some bad blood there. But overall, a great match. Kind of pretty much everyone got their shit in, to use the parlance of the industry. And it was enjoyable. And EJ NDUKA, he took out King Mo with one. He just gave him a verdict, spine buster, and that was the end of King Mo. 3 count.
Wow.
He
You know, it would have been more
just
impressive
squashed
if he
him.
knocked King Mo out like cold. That would have been cooler.
It would have been, but EJ NDUKA and the commentators mentioned it, and I absolutely have to agree. How do you let a guy like that go? They mentioned he was like at the performance center, and they let him go, and I agree. Like he looked great in this match. Like he's the real deal, and his comedic delivery and his promo stuff he did with Hammer and Holiday. Obviously, you're kind of overshadowed by Holiday in terms of promos. Everybody is, but he held his own. Like he was great with the lines he delivered. It was fantastic. So we had, EJ NDUKA coming out on top for that match. And yeah, just a couple of fun vet spots there with Vega and Blumini and stuff. So it was a good little match, and I quite enjoyed it. I think they managed to squeeze it in pretty well with the time constraints.
Absolutely.
Moving on, we had Cesar Duran with a little interaction with Willow Nightingale.
Wait a minute. Time out. Well, we were supposed to call him Caesar anymore. We're supposed to go CD, baby. It's all about CD.
CD's nuts. So CD had a little exchange with Willow Nightingale, and she's talking about how she's not just coming here to take this belt, she's coming here to make this belt.
Oh, I like that.
So
I like confidence. I like confidence in my women wrestlers. I love that. I do.
And she said she's not here to make friends, but Caesar kind of said, like, this could be the beginning of a good relationship. And Willow's just like bubbly, kind of like, yeah, of course. But you can tell underneath that bubbly exterior, she's ready to kick some ass at the drop of a dime. So who knows what's going to happen now? Is there a little allegiance with Cesar and Willow Nightingale?
See, that's interesting to me, because even when I saw that little snippet, I thought that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem to fit. I myself personally would think Holodead would be more CD's speed. But I mean, you know what? It's not impossible that a guy like CD, who's very underhanded and very methodical, could have a babyface on his team. It's not unlikely to happen. But maybe it's just they're playing off the fact that Willow is a little naive into the history of CD. Maybe she didn't catch the expose. Maybe.
It's possible. So then we go into Cesar's office.
I love that office. I really do. It's so homey.
CD's office. CD's office is badass.
And I also like the fact that you can get your work in with that punching bag that's conveniently right by the door, that makes it difficult for people to enter and exit.
Well, Jacob Fatu is in the office, and he is going berserk, throwing shit around. I want my motherfucking rematch. And we get a little bit of a revelation here, George. We get some news.
I like news. Is it breaking news?
It's pretty breaking. Lewis probably hasn't heard it yet. So Cesar Duran talks about how in the past Joseph Samael had coerced Court Bauer into giving Joseph Samael control over all of Jacob Fatu's title matches. We know this.
We know that. Gatekeeper clause. We knew about it. Yeah.
Right. What we don't know is that clause is still in effect. And according to CD, Joseph Samael has not approved the rematch.
Oh.
Now, Fatu kind of sees that CD might be playing some games here and says, no, you're not, nobody's putting nothing between me and Joseph Samael. And he kind of walks off. But it's a little concerning about that. Is there a rift developing in Contra here? Could we be witnessing the beginning of the end of Contra?
Absolutely. We noticed it. You know why we noticed? You know how we noticed that? We noticed that last week in Max Kruger's inaudible promo, where he called himself the leader of Contra. And then now we know this revelation. So what I honestly picture, I'm going to throw this out there right now. This is my prediction for War Chamber. Not only is Hammer's team going to Hammerhead or Hammer Dicks, what are they calling themselves now? The Hammerheads. Okay. The Hammerheads are going to win. Okay. And there was also footage that was leaked from War Chamber. And I already know that one of the participants had a jacket very similar to Savio Vega. So I'm just going to throw that out there. Also, I will say this, that when the Hammerheads win, I'm not going to say Hammer. When Hammer's team wins, okay, I don't like Hammerheads. I don't like it. When Hammer's team wins, I believe that Contra is going to turn on Joseph Samaya. I believe that Contra will implode at War Chamber. And it's not a bad thing because it's been literally a 3+ year faction. Sometimes it's just got to end. It's got to. I don't want it to, but it's got to.
And it's funny you should mention that about a similar jacket to Savio Vega, because at the end of the show, following the main event, which I'll get to momentarily, there's some more interaction between Holiday, Hammer, and EJ NDUKA, and our friend Alicia Atut, the interview queen herself.
Love her.
So she's speaking to them, and well, she gets the breaking news that Richard Holiday has been granted a title shot against Alexander Hammerstone. Now, again, these guys are just gold because they smash the shit out of the fourth wall, and Richard basically says, "Oh, Hammer, you know what's gonna happen. You know exactly. I'm gonna turn on you." He's like, you're gonna finish your world championship match. You're gonna be raising your arm in victory. All the consumers will be there raising their arms in victory. I'll be there with you. I'll pull you in for a hug. We'll hug, and then I'll smash you in the back. And basically laying out the whole heel turn. And Hammer's like, "Well, you can't do that, man." Or basically, Richard Holiday calls himself a face. And Hammer looks at him like, you're not a baby face, man. Like, you're a tweener at best. Like
a tweener. I love it.
You're a tweener at best. Just breaking the fourth wall.
A lot of people
love that shit once in a while.
A lot of people don't give Hammer the credit for his comedy. It's always Richard kills the comedy he does. We know this, but they don't give Hammer enough credit for his comedy. They don't.
I'm going to give Hammer some credit right now. As a student of comedy, his timing and delivery is excellent. He's great. He's great. So you're right. He doesn't get enough credit. Go back and watch the bookend of the whole show because it was just great. But we did skip over the main event because I wanted to hit that part before I forgot about it. The main event, of course, is our Opera Cup semifinal between Bobby Fish, the veteran, and Davey Richards, the American Wolf, also a veteran.
Now, I did watch this entire match. I did watch his entire match because it was so worth it. And I will say this now. I've said this a lot since the return of Fusion Alpha, but I will say this. And this is the fact. I'm going to get really serious right now. Really serious. This easily, to my opinion, was match of the year.
This was match of the year?
I loved it. I love the
story. For MLW?
Yes.
Okay.
I will give this MLW match of the year. Hands down.
All right.
Because these two knocked it out of the park. And I thought Fish had chemistry with Lee Moriarty. I said that was match of the year. I got to say, Davey Richards and Fish, the layers in this match were incredible. And I enjoyed it bell to bell. This has to be my favorite match since Fusion Alpha started. Has to be.
My honest comment, what my commentary was going to be on this match was just go watch it. I could sit here and tell you kind of how the match went and how the finish went, but I'm not going to do it justice. Just go watch it. It's strong style kick ass. They beat the shit out of each other for like 20 minutes. Just go watch it. Not you. I'm saying the populace in general. If you're listening to this and you haven't yet watched it, just go watch it.
Go watch
it. It was a thing of beauty. It was fantastic.
Well, you have to lay out the winner. We always do that. You have to lay out the winner.
I'll lay out the winner. It was a nice little, very little agile victory roll from Davey Richards to reverse was it like a something? I think Fish had him in a fireman's carry, and
yes, he did.
Davey Richards victory roll through into an ankle lock.
Depending on the wrestler, you could say fireman's carry, but you could also say the beginning of a Samoan drop. So it could have gone either way, really. But yeah, it was like a fireman's carry type deal. Had him over the shoulders. And he caught him.
He weaseled out of it. Ankle lock, classic. We love the ankle lock.
Who doesn't? It's a seamless maneuver. The roll, what I love more than the ankle lock, though, maybe I'm weird. I love the roll into the ankle lock.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That victory roll was so crisp. Like, it looked good.
Oh, it's Davey
That
Richards.
timing takes both guys to make it look smooth, you know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So it was great. The two guys, those two guys worked fantastic together.
We called that then. We called the finals of the Opera Cup, didn't we? We pretty much know.
Did.
Well, we picked Tankman and Richards in the final. And I mean, not taking anything away from TJP, but it's Tankman Richards. It's gonna be.
We called it.
Yeah.
It's been called.
It's been called. We did. We called it. We called it at the beginning of the Opera Cup. And now we have the unfortunate task of picking the winner.
Yeah, and I'm probably gonna go with Davey Richards.
I gotta be the Achilles heel to your armor, my friend. I gotta be the king.
I would not begrudge.
You know why?
I would not begrudge victories to either of these men.
No,
they both be deserved.
And you know what? I think Calvin Tankman. I always kind of picture the Opera Cup winner. I mean, supposed to get a title shot. I don't know if they. I mean, Tom Lawler really didn't. Well, he kind of did, but it was kind of a half-ass shot. But the Opera Cup winner is supposed to be technically the #1 contender, if you will. I believe Tankman and Hammer is way more interesting than Richards and Hammer. I don't know why. I just feel like Heavyweight Hustle, especially the match he had with Jacob Fatu, I feel like him and Hammer could do something special.
Not really disagreeing special. With you. Not disagreeing with you. I just feel like it might be a Davey Richards victory. I don't know. I would honestly be happy either way. I think both of those guys can have a good match.
But my head says Richards, but my heart says Heavyweight Hustle Calvin Tankman. So I'm going with my heart on this one. I'm going with my heart.
All right. You go with your heart. I'm going with my head.
Well, you are a hammerhead. So
I'm a consumer, bud.
I know you are.
Oh, seriously. MJF talking to Holiday talking to MJF on the phone. Just priceless.
It was good. You know what? I still think, I mean, even though the footage was leaked, I still would have liked to see, because I know there is that working relationship with AEW. Like, they've lent over Brian Pillman for a little bit. I just would have liked to see MJF come back. Like Dynasty reunite for one more time. That's what I would have liked to see.
Oh, well, that's what you just reminded me. You were talking about footage that was leaked from War Chamber with a similar jacket. To Savio Vega.
Yes, I did. I put that on wax.
At that final promo there with EJ, Holiday, and Hammer.
Oh, right, with the key.
EJ mentions wasn't that key, man? Like, wasn't that thing he used to use to control his brother? Even Hammer's like, no, man, we ain't seen his brother for a long time. I don't think that's even an option. Or his son. Was his brother or his son? I can't remember.
I think it was his
his brother. It's his brother. Yeah. So Savio's brother, perhaps.
It did look a lot like Savio, but you're right, could be his brother.
Maybe Cesar hooked that up.
We'll have to see. When War Chamber should be coming out in a couple weeks. I mean, it was filmed on Saturday. We know this. Should be coming out in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, and I'm excited to check it out. We scroll through the MLW, or at least I do, the MLW discussion group on Facebook, which I believe is operated by MLW. I know Hammer's an admin in there, and a couple other people. And some people have been saying, yeah, I haven't really been enjoying since the restart. I thought it was going to be more like Lucha Underground and stuff like that. I believe what's going on is Azteca Underground was pitched, but didn't necessarily get picked up. But I know they're still moving ahead with the project. So some people haven't been enjoying the restart, and that's cool. But I think you just have some patience. MLW is picking back up again. Things are open up again.
I don't know
They're
why.
doing shows.
Why haven't they? Because I mean, the matches that have been happening week to week, like Durant, CD. Sorry, I keep saying Durant. Gotta scrap it. CD has been a matchmaking fucking guru, in my opinion. He's putting together dream matches on weekly TV. And these are pay-per-view caliber matches.
Hey,
man.
You can't please everybody, and the unhappy people always speak. The smallest minority always speaks the loudest.
Sure.
So
very true.
You know what I mean? Like, and if MLW
very
hasn't
philosophical of you, Rob. Very philosophical.
Yeah, I'm used to dealing with difficult people, so I understand the mentality sometimes.
Is that a shot at me right now? Are you taking a shot at me?
No.
You're taking a shot at me right now?
Like, no. Okay,
I'll beat you in the War Chamber, Rob.
If you work, you deal with people.
All the time.
An unhappy customer tells 50 people. A happy customer maybe tells one or two. You know what I mean?
Customer, I don't tell anybody. It's just like, how was it there? Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. But when you're pissed off, when you have a bad experience,
oh, fucking
talk
sucks
about it.
ass. Sucks eggs.
Right.
Sucks eggs.
Right. So just because a few people are saying, "Oh, this sucks," and not that anyone's saying that, but like that doesn't really mean anything because the people are showing up. There's asses in seats. Merch is selling. You know, there's expansions going on of court. Looking, you think the signings that they're making are a coincidence? That there's been a lot more like lucha and technical hybrid guys that are signing. They're going into Latin America, baby. Be on the lookout. Azteca Underground.
I like it.
We're gonna see it.
Absolutely,
it's happening.
Yeah, there was definitely that market that was spoken about in the conference that we were in. He spoke about it highly, that's a market that he wanted to battle the two billionaires, as he called it. And I don't think he's wrong. I just think geographically there is other markets he could tap into. But, you know, you want to target Latin America first. I have no problem with it. Go ahead. They deserve it. Absolutely.
Hey, from a purely business objective standpoint, yes, Canada, we have some great wrestlers. We have a great wrestling market. But when you're coming from the States to be able to work Latin America, I think the market there is bigger and it would be more effective for them in terms of.
Yeah, we fill stadiums, they fill arenas.
Yeah,
like
right.
They fill, maybe it's the other way around, but they fill like soccer stadiums full of wrestling fans. We couldn't pack that here.
Absolutely. And like the style that MLW has with a lot of lucha and technical guys is very much appreciated down there. Up here, I think Canada, we're a bit of a mixed bag, but I think more than anything, we kind of like a Japanese strong style or Canadian strong style in our sense.
We like
kind of more than
like
anything.
We like who we like. If you're loved in Canada, you're kind of in. And whether you're a heel or a face here, you're loved. And we've witnessed that 1,000 times over, i.e. Bret Hart when he was a heel in his last run in WWE. When he came here, he was cheered because Canada, when Edge faced Cena in 06, Canada loves Canada.
Yeah, you get cheered if you're Canadian. It doesn't matter. You could be the worst heel in the business. If you're Canadian, you're working Canada, you're working as a face.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, that pretty much wrapped up a fantastic MLW Fusion Alpha episode.
Yeah,
I thought this was one of their better ones recently. The matches were all solid. The promos were fan-fucking-tastic. There was a lot of laughs. There was a lot of great wrestling and spots. This is a great one to watch. If you haven't caught it yet, go back and watch it because this is MLW doing what they do best, and that is entertaining us.
And that's the great part about that. When they do their best, it makes our jobs so much more easier. So we don't really grade anymore, but now we've decided that we're going to start something new every week, which we're going to do our version, our opinion of the MLW Power Rankings Top 10. So do you want to kick it off with number 10 or should I?
You start it.
All right, number 10. It's going to surprise a lot of people, but number 10, I don't know if I can put him in there, but because it's our Power Rankings, I could do it my way. CD. Cesar Durant. I love the mind games. I love the manipulation. I love planting the seeds of doubt in Jacob Fatu's head. So I'm going to put El Jefe as number 10 in the power rankings. I know it doesn't mean anything, but to me it does. So number 10, El Jefe.
All right. Number 9, I'm going to go based on some of his performance in that 12-man elimination match.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put Zenshi on that list.
I like it. I like it a lot. I will go with number 8 as maybe it should be higher in the power rankings, but just because I'm not sure where her alliances lie right now, and I think she's putting too much faith in Durant, I'm going to put Willow Nightingale number 8.
Ooh, Willow. All right. Number 7. I'm talking about. Let's go with Slice Boogie because he fucking ripped it in that match. Like that dude is
so intense.
So intense. I love. He is intense. Like,
well, we should probably spoil it. I mean, everyone's already seen it, but at War Chamber, 5150 is the new MLW Tag Team Champs.
So yeah, but
it was announced. It was all over the place. So
both those guys are dope. But like Slice just looks like a guy that like he could be like laying brick. He could be working in an office or he could be beating the shit out of you. And he looks like he could fit all 3 of them like easily.
Why not laying brick while in an office beating the shit out of you?
Beating the shit out of you with a brick in an office.
I like it. While drinking a cup of Richard Holiday's Dynastic coffee.
Boom. Number 6. What do you got?
Number 6, I got to go with the other half of 51 to 50, man. I got to go with Radioactive Poppy, Danny Limelight, baby, or Danny Rivera.
Limelight. All right. Well, number 5, I am going Richard Holiday because his work and that 6-man match, as well as the promos and segments he cut this week, were just fan-fucking-tastic.
100%. Now for the final 4. Number 4. I got to give it to Davey Richards, man. That main event was killer, and he punched his ticket. He's going to the finals of the Opera Cup, and the Lone Wolf just proven that hiatus for a bit was well worth it because he's come back better than ever. I wish I could put Bobby Fish in the top 10, but considering he's not officially no longer a member of the MLW roster, it wouldn't be fair to put somebody that's not in the roster or on the payroll in our power rankings. But Bobby Fish, if you were, buddy, you would be my next pick for sure, hands down. But Davey Richards gets number 4.
Well, number 3 is going to Joseph Samael on the back of his fantastic promo and the underhanded dealings. Like, what is going on with this Fatu situation? Samael has got something going on that we don't know about. So that shadiness bumps him up some spots in the rankings.
Nice. I like it. I will say number 2 is the obvious choice here, really. It could be 2 or it could be 1, depending on how you look at it. But I got to say NDUKA, man. Between the promo, between the spots in that top 12, between how they're building him up to literally be the next Hammer, if you will. He's aligned himself with Dynasty. He's going into War Chamber. He had a huge night tonight with promos being on point and those spots in that match that it's impossible to deny that this is a man who's going to have a shot at Hammer's title very, very, very soon, in my opinion.
So since you're putting him as number 2, I'll put Hammer as number 1,
obviously
world champion. But if you hadn't picked NDUKA, I would have picked him as number 1. Like this month's episode of Fusion was very much about the judge, and he laid down the verdict big time, multiple times. He was laying verdicts all over the place.
How long did it take you to think of that?
I had that written down from earlier on in the episode. Just waiting for the right time to bust it out.
You have to say it intently. You have to say it intent. Do it again, but do it a little bit more intense. Go ahead.
Intently.
You have to lay it down with so much intensity. Sorry, intensity.
What?
Lay it down with more intensity. Right now. Say it again.
EJ NDUKA laid down the verdict multiple times. Better?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I'm off today. It's been a long day, man.
Long day of what? Sleeping?
No, I have a job. I have a shoot job.
We both have shoot jobs. I know. All right.
Yeah, but like, I have to actually work. You get to sit in a nice office all day drinking coffee.
Nice office. Yeah, I have a vent right above me, and sometimes at the weirdest points of the day, it blows like super cold air for no reason.
Oh, I just work from home.
Okay, so there you go. And I've seen your home offices, and it's lovely. It is lovely.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So I was trying to have a little fun. So pull a stick out of your ass. It's fine. But that's our top 10 power ranking for this week. You can catch that in the episode, obviously. But we also send it out to the Wrestling Index. It's another great website organization we're affiliated with. So check them out. They're awesome. Run by my man Tim King and his lovely wife Melissa King. They're fantastic people. So you can catch obviously all of our stuff on there. You can catch all of our stuff. Where did the thumbs up come from? Look, right here, right above the record, right here in the corner.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
That's from you. Well, hey, thumbs up right there. Perfect. That's awesome. I love it.
All right.
What happens if I do this? Anything happen? No, nothing. Nothing happens. No? Yeah. All right.
I don't like it.
Yeah. No.
What if I do that?
Yeah. No, nothing. I don't know how we did it,
English.
But we'll figure it out next time. As always, I'm your host, your boy, George Mackay. I want to thank my boy, my podcast life partner, my best friend, Uncle Bobby B, for taking the reins on this week's episode.
That's me, baby.
All right. Shout out your socials. I'll shout out mine, and then we'll get the hell out of here.
The real Uncle Bobby B on Instagram and Uncle_Bobby_B_ on Twitter.
Yes.
Sure.
Finally. He
Still
finally
haven't
does
used
it. For me, it's pretty simple. No matter which social you go to, you'll find the link tree, which leads you to the rest of the socials. But I'll just make it simple. Straight Talk at _Straight Talk on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and YouTube, Straight Talk Wrestling. We also have merch on Pro Wrestling Tees, merch on Spread Shop. So check it out. Buy, support. We appreciate it. We love you. As always, I'm your host, your boy, George Mackay. Peace, love, and wrestling. We'll see you guys next time.